changes to their coverage of glucagon-like peptide-1 receptors. Our short version abbreviation is GLP-1 drugs, indicated for weight loss for fully insured, keep in mind that's a key word, for fully insured large group commercial members. Hello, this is Lifestyle for Living. I thought I would get on and tell you about, if you haven't heard of it already, and a lot of you may have, but insurance companies are making major changes to those of us who may be taking some type of GLP medication, i.e. Zepbound, Wegovy, Saxenda. If you haven't heard already, and I'll post this so that you can see it and I'll get the link below, but Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Now right now, so far when I was doing my research, I'm under the Blue Cross Blue Shield Texas. I went to their site. I did not see this same information, but I'm thinking that what's really going to happen eventually is they're going to translate this throughout the network. So what has happened is Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan sent out a letter, and I'll post it where you can see it. What actually happened was Blue Cross Blue Shield sent out a letter to their actual patrons in that area, letting them know that effective as soon as August the 1st, there are going to be some major changes. So I took some notes because I wanted to make sure I gave you the right information. So what it's basically saying is Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan and Blue Care Network are making changes to their coverage of glucagon-like peptide-1 receptors. Our short version abbreviation is GLP-1 drugs, indicated for weight loss for fully insured, keep in mind that's a key word, for fully insured large group commercial members. So you got to really think about what is behind this. Why are they making these changes? You know what's happening is they're having to pay out more money than they did previously. And now because a lot of people are trying to get on this drug, insurance companies are looking for ways to cut costs. Bottom line. They're looking for ways that makes it harder for you to actually get the drug. Like it's not hard enough already. If any of you ever have gone through the pre-authorization phase where you got to submit all these different things in order for you to even get pre-authorized to get the drug, and then when you get pre-authorized, you're limited for the amount of time that you're pre-authorized, well, guess what? That's about to go out the window for some people under the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan plan. And I keep focusing that it's Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan because everything I see right now is not showing that it's across the board with Blue Cross Blue Shield. But I can imagine this is going to be a domino effect, not just for Blue Cross Blue Shield, but for other insurance companies that have group policies. So if you were like me, I had to get a prior authorization before I could actually get on Wegovy. I had tried to get Zepbound and I got denied. And then when it came down to me getting on Wegovy, I had to meet certain criteria. So the prior authorization changes, again, like I said, effective August 1st, 2024 for GLP weight loss drugs such as Saxenda, Wegovy, and Zepbound will end. What they're basically saying is effective August 1st, if you were a person like me who got prior authorization that said, I am good until November, they're telling me now that even with me having been already vetted and have the prior authorization, if I was under the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan plan, that would be null and void. Null and void. I cannot believe it. I was like, are you kidding me? Now, in all fairness, I saw this on another channel, and I appreciate her for giving that information out. It was really good. She gives a lot of good information. I'll link her below. But I will tell you, I was really surprised when I saw this from her. It says, a new prior authorization request will be required. and with the new criteria for members from August 1st through December of 2024. So even check that out. They're saying that if you had prior authorization beginning August 1st, i.e. ending in July, you will have to resubmit for prior authorization before they will allow you to get your prescription refilled for your Wegovy, for your Saxenda, for your Zepbound. You will have to go through another step of getting authorization again. So this is something for those of you who may be out there like me. If I was under the Michigan plan and didn't know this, I would be like, are you kidding me? So if you are getting emails or getting letters from your insurance company, go ahead and open them. I know, like me, sometimes I don't always open all my mail when I see a Blue Cross Blue Shield, because I know it's just me. It's telling me, oh, you went and had a visit. This is what you owe the provider. But I know already what I already had. So I'm really not opening those types of letters all the time because I'm waiting for the weekend or something like that. So you better believe I went and took all my Blue Cross Blue Shield letters and opened them to make sure I had not gotten notification that the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas was changing. So I want to note here where they said between August 1 and December 31st of this year, because what they're telling you is that window is only the authorization that you get, if you even get the authorization, because with the changes that's coming, you might not even get it. What they're basically saying is if you get the authorization, you're only good for August, September, October, November, December, basically 5 months. It says some members may need a new prescription if their original prescriber didn't have an established relationship with them or hasn't seen them in person. What? So for those who are like me, who may be using a telehealth provider, which is a good provider, they actually have physicians, they actually do their due diligence, they actually run blood work, they do all those things that they say we should have done before we get on these type of GLP medications. For those persons like me who have a telehealth provider, what this change is now saying, if the person has not seen you, your provider has not seen you in person, meaning those of us who are using online providers, guess what? If you're under Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, you're no longer considered to be qualified to get an authorization. That's just where this is going. I am like really, really blown away, because if this is going to be the trickle down effect, I actually do still see a primary care physician in person. I just didn't like the fact that he wanted to charge me an additional $150 on top of everything else for me to join his weight loss program. So I opted to go to an online telehealth provider who actually is a physician, who actually is licensed. I am actually prescribed Wegovy. They did the blood work. If you saw one of my previous videos, you'll see where I said, hey, they did more extensive blood work than my personal provider that I see in person. But from what this is also saying here, effective August 1st, if you're not seeing your provider in person, if you're under Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, you're out. So guess what? If you're on this drug and you know that the time is coming around, and you know July, where basically you have a month to find an in-person provider. That's the bottom line of what this is coming to. And you may need a new prescription. It says for members with a plan renewal other than January 1st, the new prior authorization will end before the new renewal. So that window of time between August and December, if you get authorized to get the drug and say your insurance is renewing on January the 1st, you're going to have to get another prior authorization. It says effective January 1, 2025, coverage for GLP-1 weight loss drugs will end for fully insured large group commercial members. Again, this applies to group members with a plan renewal date other than January 1st. It's bad enough if you're not insured. Because if you're not insured, you're having to pay out of pocket. And a lot of people are saying, like my sister, she's on Zepbound. The insurance company would not cover her for it, so she's paying that $500 and extra dollars out of pocket every month just for her to be able to have the drug. So effective January 1, 2025, coverage for GLP-1 weight loss drugs will end for fully insured large group commercial members. What the? This is the criteria. So if you have prior authorization already under the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan plan, that ends July. And then you're going to have your in-person provider submit for another authorization just for that window of time between August 1 and December 31st. So these are the criteria for you to get this new authorization. Members must be 18 years or older with a body mass, meaning a BMI, body mass index, BMI of 35 or higher. Guess what? That counts me out right there. Because I've been working so hard for the last year to get my BMI down, to lower my A1C numbers, to increase my insulin sensitivity, I have lost weight and my BMI is now currently under the 35. So guess what? Right there off the top, I'm no longer considered to be qualified or meet the criteria to get a prior authorization. So what about those people who are on maintenance? How does that impact them? Because if you've lost the weight, you did your due diligence, you've gotten down to where you need to be. Now what the insurance company is telling you, and I believe this is going to be a domino effect, what they're now telling you is if your BMI is below 35, guess what? You're going to have to pay out of pocket or you're going to have to do a compound. And I'm going to do a separate info video on semaglutides. I will tell you, I know a lot of people are taking compound semaglutides, and I'm not against that at all. You know, I tell you, I'm a chemist, I'm not a doctor, but I really started deep diving into the research of compound pharmacies and the compound for semaglutides and what are the different things. So I'm probably going to have that one, as much research as I've been doing. I may end up making that a 2-part or 3-part series telling you about the different things of, okay, if you decide to go with a compound, these are the things you need to look at. I'm going to give you the links of where you can go to find out if that pharmacy is licensed in your state. I'm going to talk to you about the regulations and criteria that is for, but that's something that I got coming. I'm doing a little more research on it so that I can make sure I can give you some good information. But let's get back to these new prior authorization criteria. If y'all can tell, I'm a little hot about this because this thing is ridiculous, because I'm like, what are they doing? Why are they making it so hard for people who are trying to get healthier? What happened to preventive care? What is going on around here? I don't understand. I'm just like, where is this coming from? Is it because so many people are now seeing success and these insurance companies are getting money from us every paycheck? If you like me, they're taking deductions for me to pay them. And I know for years, because I haven't really been sick until the last time I just got sick a couple of weeks ago, and you probably have seen my video on that already because I posted that already. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm really kind of like, what is the world is going on around here? They say the medication must be prescribed by a provider who has an established relationship with the member and has seen them in person. Again, like I just said, if you're using a telehealth provider, that's out. That's over. You no longer can use a telehealth provider unless wherever they're located, if they're located in your state, you're going to have, and if they have an office, you're going to have to find a way to get to them. Because what they're saying is they must have an established relationship. Let's talk about that a little bit. What does that mean? Established relationship? That means, oh, I can't just go find somebody because you're giving me this short window of time between when I can actually keep taking this drug. That means if I don't have somebody, say I go out in July and I find an in-person provider, What's the window of time that says their established relationship? It says the prescriber must document the member's current baseline weight within 30 days. Okay, so that means like ASAP. The deadline for this is the end of July. For you get authorization for you to be able to get your prescription in August, you would have need to have seen the doctor already, meaning next week. So if you need, and say you need a new prescription refilled, I get mine generally refilled at the first of the month. If you need a refill the 1st of August, the first week of August, the second week of August, you got to get into a primary care provider, see them in person, because what this is saying is prescriber must document the member's current baseline weight within 30 days. It says the member must actively participate in a lifestyle modification program. Well, we all know that if you're like me, this drug is a tool and not a cure. It's a tool. It's not the 100% if you take this drug, you're going to drop the weight like crazy. Now, some people are more receptive to this drug, to the GLPs, and they are dropping quicker. Those people like me who are seeing a slower weight loss because I'm doing the lifestyle changes, I'm working out, I'm doing strength training, I'm doing all those different things, I am not losing as quickly, and probably because I've lost over 30 something pounds since over this past year, and my BMI is now getting closer to, I'm no longer obese, I'm going to be overweight. But even with that, my body is responding slower. But what they're saying is you must actively participate in a lifestyle modification program such as coaching, food tracking, and exercise for at least 6 months before the prior authorization request. What the? Y'all, I'm sorry. This, to me, is like saying, honestly, if I have not actively participated in a documented lifestyle modification program, such as coaching, food tracking, and exercise, I'm out. Wake up call, y'all. Because what this is basically saying, if anybody of those patrons who are under this current Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, and like I said, I haven't seen anything saying this is across the board so far, I'm thinking this is what's coming down the pipe. And y'all, we got to be mindful and get ready. Because if you're somebody like me who's currently using the actual Novo Nordisk coupon, where I don't have to pay anything. I'm zero. I'm blessed. Thank God. I am so blessed. I am not paying anything for this Wegovy that I'm on right now. I have, my insurance covers it up to a certain point, and with my Novo Nordisk Wegovy coupon, I'm zero. But what this is basically saying for me, I got to get my mind right. Because what it's telling me is I got to get somewhere and see somebody, meaning I'm probably going to have to talk to my primary care provider. But in order for me to participate, I got to be in a documented lifestyle modification program for 6 months.